this might be the worst mission in all of DMZ. So Out of the Deep is a Legion tier 5 mission in DMZ, and it absolutely sucks. I'm going to do a guide for it. I'm going to show you how kind of you're meant to complete it, and then I'm going to show you how I think you should complete it and the way I did it, because I think cheesing this mission is almost the right thing to do just based on how frustrating it is. As always, if you like the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. So there's only 2 objectives for this mission. The first one is to kill 20 operators from the surface of the water with attack M with a very specific loadout. And then the second one is to kill 5 operators while underwater. Now the big problem with this, first of all, is that you're fighting players. So that means you need to find a way to get players out to the water. On Al Mazrah, that's super difficult. There's just a chance no players will go anywhere near water. On Ashika Island, it's a little bit easier because nearly everyone spawns right next to the water, so you can probably get in a couple of fights early on. But then you've got the second problem, that you need to be in the water, almost certainly fighting people who aren't in the water, and that gives them a massive advantage because you don't have any cover, you don't have any way to get more plates, to get more ammo or anything like that. You can get shot by them super easily. The only thing you can do is try to hide, because some people have graphic settings where you can't really see through the water. The way I have it set up, because I like the game looking nice, you can't really see through the water a lot of the time, which makes it an absolute nightmare, even if you're in the water, to be honest. And then you've got the problem that you've got to use the attack M, which not only isn't a brilliant gun, like it's fine, it's not terrible, but it's not a pistol, and that means that you can't use it underwater. So if you want to be killing players while you're on the surface of the water and then underwater, you're probably going to need to bring a pistol with you too, and enemies don't tend to drop pistols in DMZ. You do find them sometimes, but it's pretty rare. So it's actually kind of hard to get hold of a pistol unless you bring it in as your other insured weapon. So if you want to try and do this mission like super efficiently, you're going to be using up 2 insured weapons just to go in once to try and get involved in a fight that's going to be quite hard to find, and then it's going to be a fight that you're probably going to lose. It's not a particularly fun mission. But let's talk about how you would do it if you were going to do it the kind of legit way, the proper way. So the best thing we found to do is to spawn on Ashika Island and immediately, as quickly as you can, get on a boat or a jet ski and start going around the outside of the island. Like I said before, nearly everybody spawns on the outside of the island, and because you're in a boat that makes lots of noise and will show up on the minimap, people will probably take notice and start to shoot you. So now it gets a little bit tricky. Now you can jump out of your boat and bob around in the water once you find some players and try to get some lucky shots off. You've got the issue there that if you down someone, they'll probably just resurrect, like one of their friends will revive them, or they'll use a stim pistol or something like that, because they'll probably go behind a seawall or something, or get to a place where you can't kill them. And it seems, at least from our experience, if somebody else goes and finishes them off, or you get out of the water to finish them off, it doesn't count for the mission, which is super frustrating. Or if you're trying to kill them while you're underwater, you either need to be just under the water with a pistol so you can kind of shoot out of it and hope to kill them, but again you've got the same problem that they'll probably revive or have their teammates get them up. Or you can do one of the other tricks, which is basically putting in stuff that have a delayed effect, so then you can get underwater to kill them. So like using C4 and then jumping under the water before you detonate it. My problem with that was that a couple of times I did it on enemies that were already down, and a piece of C4 wasn't enough to finish them off. And in the time it took you to get underwater, they've got time to kind of move away from the C4 unless you put it right on top of them. Or you could use things like a precision airstrike, so call in a precision airstrike, then get under the water before it hits. But again, you've got the problem that they miss quite a lot of the time and the enemy has time to get out of the way. It's just a super frustrating experience. It is definitely possible, you can get it done. We got a few kills using attack M, just bobbing on the surface of the water, but the number of times we got killed by the enemy team doing this, and then not only had to do a full regain just to get armor and stuff back, but also to get our insured weapon slot back because you need a very specific attack M, it just became very, very irritating. So in short, yes, you can complete this mission legit. It's very annoying, but if you just go around Ashika Island on a jet ski or on a boat with a TAC M and a pistol, you've got a decent chance of being able to kill someone. If they're on the shore, use the TAC M to try and kill them if you can, and then throw stuff at them to get the finish, like if you've got Semtexes or C4 or something like that. And then if they get in the water with you, which sometimes people will, they'll come over to you, then you can try and use a pistol if you've got one, or you can try and melee them in the water to try and get those kills. If you did it this way, you definitely would get it done, but it would take a very long time. But there's an easier way. Now, this method I wouldn't normally condone. I don't normally like people cheesing things in Call of Duty for whatever reason. I don't know, it just feels wrong to me. But this mission annoyed me so much, and I could see after we'd got a few bits of progression done that it was just going to take like 20 games to get it finished. I decided to completely cheese it, and there's a very easy way to cheese it if you've got 2 friends who are willing to help you. So basically, to do this, you want to have your team of 3 split up into a team of 2 and a solo player. The solo player is the one who's going to get the mission completion on this, so they need to be the one that has the mission on, obviously. Make sure squad fit is turned off because you don't want random teammates messing this up, and then you all want to queue at the exact same time. Do this on our Mouser just because there's more players in the lobby, so it makes it easier to get into the same game, and we literally did this on our first try. We immediately got into the same game as each other. Then you want to go meet up somewhere fairly remote where there's some water. We chose the end of the broken runway at the airfield. We thought it would be remote, but we did end up actually having to kill 2 other teams while we were here. But that's a fairly remote place. You can do it wherever there's water and you're not going to be bothered. Once you've all met up, basically the solo player is going to kill 1 person from the duo over and over and over again. So first of all, we did the underwater one. So I would get in the water with one of the people from the other team. I would go underwater and shoot them with the pistol until they were dead, then let the other person revive them, bring them back to life, and then just do it again and again until you've completed that objective. And then for the TACM, you just do the same thing. So bob up and down on the water, on the surface of the water, and then shoot the other person with the TACM until they die, let the other person revive them, and keep on doing that over and over and over again, because you need to get 20 operator kills. The design of this mission is just terrible in my opinion. Like, you're needing to use a gun that you have to use an insured weapon slot for, and it's not a good gun, it's not an interesting gun, it's an incredibly boring one. And then not only have you got to do something that's quite difficult, like shooting someone from the surface of the water, which if you had to do it once would be like, okay, that's a fun challenge, we'll try it out, but you have to do it 20 times. I thought the whole point of like the mission reset, the mission rehash, was that they wanted to get rid of these ridiculous grindy achievements and try and replace them with fun things that you could do in one game. But instead, you're just doing something over and over and over again that requires quite a lot of luck and admittedly a little bit of skill, but isn't a particularly fun thing to do. It's just a stupid mission, and I don't feel bad at all about completely cheesing this. In my mind, DMZ missions should be fun above all else. Like, how challenging they are, how difficult they are to do, should be like kind of by the by. The main thing should be that it should be a fun, exciting thing to do, and maybe something that teaches you something about the game, gets you to try something else. I don't think there's much demand for people to think, okay, I wish I knew how to use a marksman rifle while bobbing up and down the water. Oh, I wish I knew how to fight other players when we're both underwater. Because that situation just doesn't happen in DMZ unless you create it artificially, and when it does happen, it's not a particularly fun thing to do. Hopefully, if they ever do another reset in DMZ, they'll get rid of missions like this, or just make it so you only have to get 1 operator kill, or maybe 2 operator kills. Something like that would be much, much better. Hopefully they do stuff like that in future, but we'll see. Anyway, if you found this guide useful, if you've struggled through this stupid mission like I have, please don't forget to leave a like, consider subscribing, turn your notifications on, and as always, let me know in the comments if there's another mission that you want help with. If there's another mission that you're struggling with, you think a guide would be useful, let me know in the comments and I'll get working on it. Thanks so much for watching, and goodbye.